Good morning. Welcome to Winnipeg. Minus 3.8 Celsius right now. Not quite as nice as it was yesterday. Now, if someone was to say, Ron, can you give me an example of Murphy's Law? Well, Murphy's Law goes something like this. It's been nice for the last 6 days, but the day that I have to go for a doctor's appointment, it's supposed to be 60% chance of flurries. And that's what's going to happen. Yeah, 60% chance of flurries today, and today I got a doctor's appointment later. Probably have to cut the model episode short. I'm probably not going to be videoing downstairs in the workshop. The rest of the what I'm doing with my bike box extension. The reason being is I'm finding that I'm spending too much time messing around with the camera when I should be sawing the lumber or timber and plywood. So I want to get that thing done. Oh, anyway, back to Murphy's Law and bad weather. I guess I shouldn't complain. Mark Livingston reminded me that yes, there's a cyclone moving onto Australia. I checked just about an hour ago, and I still haven't seen anything conclusive as to what's happened or what's going to happen. Depends on what website you watch, I guess. And they're not always 100% up to date, but yeah. So my heart goes out to the folks in Australia. Yeah, thanks for reminding us, Mark. There's several viewers down there that are going to be adversely affected, as I said in my reply to Mark. So I don't want to single anybody out in particular. You know who you are. And we're thinking of you. So, fingers crossed. That's about all we can do. I mean, how are you going to stop a cyclone? Or as they call it up here in the northern hemisphere, a hurricane. I think that in North America it spins one way, and the southern hemisphere it spins the other way. If I remember right. Yeah. I'm not too up on that sort of thing. I guess I don't have to be. We don't get cyclones here in the center of Canada. We could get tornadoes though. Yeah, there's been tornadoes here and right close by here. Fortunately, not one right overhead. Yet. All right. Now, what are we going to do here? Well, it looks like I'm going to be able to make use of Eric's sponges because I'm going to have to take this seam off of the bottom. And there's these sort of things. Take them down so that when I paint the hull red, we're not going to see it. I have a bad habit of forgetting to remove seams. It just seems like it's something I can't do. Military modeler Paul is good at that. We call it a play on words or similes or anyway. I'm not too good at it. However, I think I'm going to be good enough that I can get this seam gone. And here in the bow, I think it was on the Bismarck and one other build, we had to put because of the bulbous bow, they couldn't mold it. But here somehow they managed. And I'm actually feeling sort of a bulbous thing going on, and yet they got it. Like I'm just trying to think of how could they get this thing out of the mold all in one piece. Okay, so yeah, oh, I guess they did. Well, because the seam is like this, it would have come apart like that. It would have been one heck of a big mold, wouldn't it? Yeah. Can you imagine if they were to, if Trumpeter was to do a 100 scale of the Gerald R. Ford class? Now that'd be an impressive model, wouldn't it? That'd be bigger than the Yamato. It'd be interesting to know what's what's on the drawing board in some of these places like Tamiya and Trumpeter, and I don't know about Airfix and some of these others. I think they're more into smaller, highly detailed stuff. I can't even remember if I've ever had an Airfix model. Anyway, enough of that. I'm not into what is a high quality model and what isn't. That's the sort of thing that Jason Port and Nigel Frampton are good at. They know, but I don't. And I guess I don't have to. I just have to sit here and have a good time and enjoy myself. So let's recompose, and maybe we can get rid of this seam. And then my plan is to try and wipe this thing down really good, maybe with isopropyl, and get my fingerprints off of it so that the paint will stick. I think that I have, in previous builds, as best I remember, when I did the hull red, I think it was especially on the last one, I think it was on the Iowa, I just gave it one coat and it looked a little bit blotchy. This one I'm not going to do that. If it looks blotchy, I'm going to give it a second coat with the XF9 hull red. That's the plan. Oh, no, I was going to mention about the boot line. And I was going to use this 6 millimeter tape for the line, and some people were thinking that was too wide. No, that if anything, that's too narrow. I did a little bit of checking yesterday. In fact, I think I did a little video on it. Yeah, I did. Maybe I'll insert it right now. Okay, we're looking at the painting and marking guide here now for the USS Enterprise. And a couple of the viewers were thinking that possibly 6 millimeters was going to be too wide. But I don't think so. If anything, it's going to be too narrow. So let's just enlarge this a little bit here. And just sort of envision the ship here. Now, the propeller is going to be, I'm guessing, maybe 14 feet in diameter. So half of the propeller would be 7 feet. So you can see that this line here is probably about 6 feet high. I'm going to go ahead and use the 6 millimeter tape. I might do better actually to go to this hobby store and get 10 millimeter. It seems to me, now that I think about it, I used 10 millimeter on one of the other ships, but yeah, I think we're going to be okay with that. And well, nobody's going to know for sure anyway. Some people think it's too narrow, some people are going to think it's too wide. Most people aren't even going to notice. All it has to do is basically separate the hull red from the superstructure. So yeah, we're just going to go with it the way it is. So, okay. Yeah. It's not going to be 100% right. In other words, if you're a rivet counter, and I should be a little bit more rivet countery than I am, you're going to maybe be disappointed, because I'm not concerned about the fact that maybe the boot line is not quite the right thickness or width. I guess maybe I should be more concerned about these sort of things and getting my colors right and stuff like that. But hey, the submarine looks good. You got to admit it, and yet it's not 100% right, but it looks good. Yeah. So my plan is that this is going to look good as well. And I'm still thinking about doing LEDs in the hangar bays and stuff like that. I think that'd be, if I can figure out how I can run the wires. Yeah, it was fairly easy to run the wires in the submarine because of the way it was built. But some of these other kits. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble here. Let's get on with whatever it is we're going to do. I think probably I will scrape the line, seam line, and then I will probably take 220 grit. Go over it. I think maybe I want to be careful here that I don't mark the hull. I was thinking, using Chris's file on something like that. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4 of those, and it looks like somebody tried to fix this one here on the back. It's almost non-existent. Or maybe it was just dust. Okay, how many times do I have to say let's get at it? So let's get at it. Now, today is going to be a little bit different because Max just phoned and he said he's got something important to do. And so he's not going to be coming in, so we got to go out.
A quick cameo appearance.
That's right.
Thanks, Ron.
Okay, yeah, we wouldn't want Missy to be disappointed. Okay, go get your cookie. We'll let you go, Max.
That's very good outdoor camera work. The lighting's not perfect, but okay, Missy House. Grab the boat and run there. Here we go, miss.
Just drag her. Just drag her. I'm gonna make you miss your program. Okay.
Yes, cool out here, isn't it?
It is. It's starting to snow.
Ah.
Yeah, 60% chance of flurries. Come on, Missy, scarf that down. Max wants to get back in the house. Oh, we'll see you, Max.
See ya. I put this down, Missy. I want
Okay, well, can't have it the same every time. Okay, now what were we doing here? Yeah, we were going to do some seam removal. All right, let's get back to it here. Okay, I am back. And I have not done anything on the model ship since I last talked to you. I went for my doctor's appointment. You know, we were talking earlier about Murphy's Law. Well, I cheated Murphy's Law. It did not snow. I got to the doctor's office and it went pretty good. And then they gave me a requisition for blood work. So I went and had that done at a different place. Found a place to park right in front of the door, more or less. That worked out good. I only had to wait about 10, 15 minutes maybe at the most because I did not have an appointment. I was just a walk-in, so that worked out pretty good. And then I went to another place where I had to have an EKG taken at a different lab, about half a mile further north up Henderson Highway. And so I got there, and it was 4 minutes after 12. And so I pulled in, found a place to park, walked up to the door, and I see a closed sign, but I can't read the fine print under it. Closed between 12 noon and 1. Well, I didn't want to sit there for almost an hour and then find out that the person was late coming. So I don't think it's any big rush. I'll go again tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow the weather will be nicer. Who knows? Anyway, let's see what we can do here with our seam. Yeah, let's see what we can do with our seam. I think I'll scrape it, at least most of it. Now I had cleared myself off a lot of room here on the model table, not realizing that this hull is a lot smaller than some of the other battleships we've done. At least I think it is. Either that or maybe what's happened is, you know, I was remembering the submarine, which was extra long. Anyway, I've sort of rethought about scraping here, and I was thinking maybe if I was to take the coarsest sandpaper here, which is 180 grit, and maybe fasten it onto something and just go back and forth like this. Now right here, there's very, very little to do. Maybe I'll just take some fine sandpaper and this is that area that I said before. It looked like somebody had already done something with it. You can sort of see a little bit of a seam going on right here. I think that's going to basically paint over. Let's just take our 400 grit here and see if we can just sort of take that down just a little bit here. You know, it almost looks like this section has been glued in the factory onto this section here. You know, I can sort of see a stain there. I don't know what else it would be. I like the way these sort of, you know, they contour, you know, they bend to the shape of the plastic when you got a concave thing going on. Now, people aren't going to be seeing it from the bottom anyway. I think this is where the rudder plugs into. Yeah, I think once that's painted, we're not going to see where that even was. At least I'm not. Okay. Yeah, it's just the back here where we've got the noticeable seam. Okay, we'll just sort of work our way along. I think I've got the light set up so that we should be able to, you know, see it as we work our way back. Yeah, that's the plan anyway. I want to try and do as much of it on camera as I can, being as I'm not going to be doing any more down in the workshop on camera. You know, I don't want to disappoint people too badly. Okay, Eric, I don't know if you're listening right now or not, but I just love these sanding sticks, these sanding sponges. Okay, what I did was I used the 400 grit, and then I used the 800 grit, and there was also, you will be able to see it when we move and look right here. It almost seems like this section was made, and also this sort of like a cap, all of this was made. And then it was all glued together in the factory, because now it could be that this is a molding seam that I'm looking at right here. I'm not sure, but well, it could be, but I don't know why. I guess the reason I don't know why is because I've never made one of these, but in a mold. But anyway, yeah, I think we're pretty good. We're pretty much done here on the stern section. So let's just sort of recompose and see what we're going to do in places like that. I want to be careful that I don't end up gouging this. Maybe this is not the right tool to use here. Or maybe it was. Okay, now I've been rethinking this. I was talking about the, where's that coarse sponge? Okay, it's not that one. It's not that one. Did I put it back? Okay, this is the 180. What I'd like to do is maybe fasten it onto something so that it kind of only presses right here, like the way my hand is. But of course, if I put an elastic band around my finger, that would work. But then, yeah, no, it wouldn't, would it? Unless I went like this. Yeah, this might work. Yeah, and that's working. And I'll just work my way up to a finer grit. Must be a power tool in my basement that would do this. Yeah, my double drum sander. It would actually accommodate something this big, except that it doesn't work good on something that isn't perfectly flat. Okay, I don't think we need to go any more with this 180 grit. Now here's where that seam is that I was talking about earlier. Maybe I should be using the 400 on that. Just sort of even it out just a little bit. We're not going to see this anyway. This is the bottom, for goodness sakes, Ron. Now, I know I could get some sort of filler, and fill that in, but I think once it's painted, we're not going to really see it. Okay, now the 800 grit. Just smooth it out a little bit. Like I say, we're not going to see it anyway. Still something there, I can almost feel it. Okay, enough. Okay, you get the idea. I'm just going to go along and I've only done about a third of the hull, so we'll do the other 2/3 off camera. And now this cloth is slightly dampened, sort of like a tack rag. Okay, a whole big bunch of stuff has been happening to me here today. Yeah, groceries got delivered, doctor's appointments, had to repackage my groceries. Well, we got a little bit done. I think the hull is pretty much ready for some of these parts, which have to go on before we paint the hull red. I'm just debating on whether or not before I put these on, and I'm going to be wanting to manipulate the hull back and forth, should I maybe paint the black where the boot line is going to go? Do that first, because I'm going to want to be rocking it around and dragging it back and forth in front of the spray booth. And oh, the black line that could actually be brushed on once I know where it goes. Got to figure that out too. Anyway, I gotta call her quits here. What do we got? It's almost 3:30 in the afternoon. In about an hour and a half, this episode has to be uploaded onto YouTube, or it's going to be late. Again, some of you might have noticed I was about 10 minutes late the other day. I was almost ready to upload it, had everything all ready to go, and I was going to click send or whatever it is. And then I got sidetracked and I completely forgot about it. Yeah, that's scary. Okay, thanks for watching, everybody. All being well, we're going to see you tomorrow.